Hey, Dan Meyer here, and I'm going to talk to you today about data, about numbers, about what you have in your business, that are in your business, around your business, that you can use to improve your decision making, right? So this is my background. I've been doing big data for 25 years, and what it really boils down to is understanding how to use information, data, numbers, and making sense of these numbers to be able to have a better way to set goals, to make sure that you're able to make the right decision the first time, to help you figure out how to identify your target market. Where do they live? Who are they? How often do they do X, Y, and Z? You want to understand the data behind your audience's engagement. What are they liking? What's going viral? What's not working? What should you stop doing? What's the best ROI for your social media? What kind of marketing are you doing that has the biggest impact? All this stuff, you need numbers behind it, because if you're just guessing, if you're trusting your gut or going off of what worked in the past, you're probably going to fail. 99% of all business success stories are based on how they use the data in and around their business to make better decisions, to figure out how to boost their membership, to figure out how to increase revenue and lower cost, to figure out which social media platform to put more money into, to figure out where they should go to market their business, to better understand who is their audience and are they impacting their audience. To do any of these things on a large scale consistently, to be able to make good decisions over time, you need to be able to use data, right? So I'm going to walk you through a quick introduction of what is data, and it's all you really need to know to get started. It's very high level. I'm not going to go into super geek mode and tell you all about all kinds of data science and logarithms and all kinds of higher math. No, today's business owners need to speak and collaborate data, right? It's our most valuable asset. So I'm going to give you the quick high-level version of what it means to make sense of your numbers. I'm talking about big data, talk about the 4 V's and the 3 I's and the 3 T's, alphabet soup right now, but when we finish, you'll understand them better. Talk briefly about things like data lakes and data jobs and a data culture, right? This to give you that bit of knowledge you need to get started, that you can then either start doing more things yourself around data, or you can hire someone to do that. And I really recommend that you look at having a nerd in your business. If you're not a numbers person, if you hate looking at Microsoft Excel, if you can't make sense of most numbers, then you need somebody who can, right? Here's the bottom line. If you look at the Fortune 500 companies, you look at the top 10 companies in the world, they're all run by geeks, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. These guys are nerds, right? Nerds make more money, bottom line. So if you want to be able to really scale your business in a way that you're able to grow like I have done. I went from a business of 1 to a business of 100. I have over 100 virtual staff who support over a dozen clients and make over $1 million a year. I live Timothy Ferriss's 4-hour work week most weeks. There are weeks I work 100 hours. There are weeks I work 4 hours. It really depends on how things are going in my business. But for the most part, I can delegate, I can build systems and have the systems replicated and people do the systems so that I don't have to do it all myself, right? This is how everybody else that's been successful is doing it. And they're doing it based on big data. They understand how they can collect data from various sources and mine that data and analyze that data to understand things, right? So at a high level, you think of how all the data you have in your business can be brought together and analyzed. Who are your customers? Where do they live? How do they shop? What do they prefer to do when they're online? What else are they doing with their free time? What do they consume? Who are they influenced by? What are the things that engage them, that attract their attention? What images? What keywords? All the things that you should know about your clients will come from analyzing data. Well, taking chunks of data, comparing your data to big data out there for everyone, figuring out are you making progress in your niche? Where do you stack up with your competition? All these things can be analyzed by data, right? So you really have to think about the 4 parts of data. There are really 4 pieces of data. The 4 V's we call them. Volume of data, right? How fast data comes to you, as far as the amount, size of it, right? The scale of it, the variety of data, the different kinds of data you have, the velocity data comes to you, how quickly it gets to you, if you're getting it real time, if it's delayed, and is it good data? Is it something you can verify? Does it have good veracity? Is it trustworthy? These are things that a good data analyst would make sure that you have done right. And I have a team of data analysts that can help you do that. The idea is that you want to do your marketing based on data. Like if you ever have looked at your Facebook insights, if you have a business page and you go to Facebook business page and you go to your insights on the right-hand menu bar, you're going to see a bunch of screens. And I've talked about this in previous videos. If you have a WordPress site or a Wix website, there's free analytics tools in that. If you're using YouTube, there's analytics tools in that. All this data is out there. So you want to be able to bring all these data points together. You want to merge them with things like your sales data, your inventory data, your productivity data, your financial reports, your accounting spreadsheets. All this stuff should be being analyzed by somebody to help you figure out what you're doing that could be done even better, that could be done more efficiently. What are you doing that's not profitable? What are you doing that wastes time? All this kind of stuff you get from pulling all your data together, to taking all this big data and bringing it together across all the different ways you bring data into your business, all the data you create in your business as well. You look at all these things, and then you're able to identify which data you should be using right now, which data points are important in decision making. As a business owner and decision maker, what are the couple key performance indicators, KPIs? What are the things that you care most about? Is it how much money's in your bank account? That's probably the most important metric, most important KPI for any business is, are you profitable? Beyond that, are you growing? Are you able to sustain, or do you want to grow? What are your big money makers and what are your big money losers? You do this by identifying the data you need to answer those questions. Then you bring it into a place where you can analyze it. Most of us can do this in Excel. You don't have to have a lot of really cool software or very powerful what we call data science tools or business intelligence tools to do this, but you can if you want. The idea here is that you inventory the data. And again, this is something that you can delegate to a VA. If you have a bunch of marketing data, a bunch of information about your customers, and you're just not making the money you thought you'd make, if things just aren't growing the way you want, it's probably worth your time to have an analyst help you build a better way to inventory your data and then help you integrate that into your decision making. Take this analysis and turn it into action. I did this for 15 years for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is one of the biggest banks in the world. Yeah, they've had some problems with some scandals here and there, but the bottom line is the bank keeps growing, right? They keep adding new customers because they know how to attract them. They attract them based on understanding what they need, when they need it, how to deliver it, and what they can afford, and they put all that together and they make offers that clients can't say no to, that customers have to say yes to. That's all based on data. I did that for a long time. The last 10 years I've been working with smaller businesses and businesses in Southeast Asia primarily to be able to do this. But now I'm helping you. Now I'm ready to help you figure out how to make sense of your numbers. So you have to have the right talent involved, you have the right technology, and you have to have the right techniques. I'm not expecting most of you to figure out how to do this yourself. You need to attract talent that can do it for you, right? You want to focus on what you do best and hire for all the rest. You do that by finding curious and analytical people. I'm surrounded by them. That's what I do, right? I teach people how to be analysts. I've trained pretty much every big call center you can think of. If you call 1-800 customer service anywhere, it's going to go to a call center, and half those call centers are in the Philippines, and I've trained them all on how to do analytics. I worked with Wells Fargo for a long time, like I talk about. I know how to find talent. I know how to figure out how to employ the right technology, and I know the right techniques to help a business owner like you figure out how to make sense of your numbers. Don't try to do it yourself unless you're really a data nerd like me. If you're not, have somebody do it for you. We have a great package that we can help you with that. All right, so thank you for sticking with us so far. That is the end of part 1. Part 2 will drop tomorrow. And if you want to get started before you can move on to part 2, you can reach out to us right now. You can text the word data to 26786. If you text the word data to 26786, you'll get a form. You'll fill it out, basically telling us what are the things that you want to get started with. What kind of data do you have in your business that you want to better understand? Do you have a bunch of data because you have a lot of Facebook followers, a lot of connections on LinkedIn, a lot of people that are retweeting your stuff? If that's true for you, then you have enough data to get started with. So drop us a line, text the word data to 26786, or go to sellingva.com. Otherwise, stay tuned for part 2 of this talk, which will drop tomorrow. Thank you.